Trying to get a lot of dough. Anything is possible. Turn me up in the headphone. Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of gold. Stack that bread and by my nose. Anything is possible. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite podcast on your way home. That's right. This is episode 1 of season 3. Who would have thought? It's your boy Cuff Daddy on your favorite show. I'm a pod star, not a doctor, and my main co-host,
the American Pharaoh, back from Miami.
Who's really the best part of the show. I'm not going to lie. So he's probably the star of the show. They just let me do the intro and they pay me such.
Until we get the AI set up that comes out and goes, what up, what up, what up, what up?
I feel like that's coming.
I think it's coming because I don't even know what to believe is real and what's not. I mean, I land in Miami to go to Shoulder 360 a couple weeks ago, and I walk in to see my boy Cuff Daddy, and what do I see? I see a non-vegan margarita pizza, and this man's face deep in it. I'm like, are you the real Cuff Daddy?
All right. Look, I had to make a concession, okay? It's hard to be super strict, like plant-based out there. So, and like I said, I've never said it was like super religious, I'm just a human, but yes, I did cheat on my diet all weekend and I gained a couple of pounds, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm back.
No, it's all good. And thank you, because you did give me a couple pieces of it and it was tasty.
They do have some nice plant-based spots, but I didn't get to go to them this year. So, you can only eat so many French fries, Sharif.
Oh, I know. And I actually chose not to. And you had those truffle fries, and you're like, come on, eat those. I'm like, I'm not going to eat them. I'm not eating them. Not eating. Not with my new diet. Not doing it. No, but that was a fun weekend. I mean, to see all our friends, to see all our colleagues, kind of gave us a break. And for all of those of you that listened to us, realize that we were probably gone for, I think, about a month. And we just needed a little break to kind of recalibrate. And we had a little travel for both of us. And so it was nice to kind of concentrate on that and family and other things, and then come back for season 3, episode 1. And hopefully we're up to about 8 listeners. And so welcome back, all 8. Tell a friend, and we can maybe be up to 16. It'll be very exciting very soon. And then Bobby, I don't know if anybody's been checking out our Instagram, but Bobby was nice enough to get the Todd from Scrubs to record a little video for Danny and I. So if you haven't seen it, check out our Instagram, because it's kind of funny, because he shits on us a little bit, which I think people like to see. Daniel, are you there? I think Daniel's on call. He's responding.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think the Todd was cool, but I'm a little disappointed because honestly, like, Turk was my favorite in the show. So I feel like you should have tried a little harder, Bobby. I don't know. Maybe next time.
Well, what's even better about it is if you look at, I think there's those T-Mobile commercials, and those two, Turk and the other guy, the main character, they don't look any different. The Todd easily looks 20 years older.
You gotta kind of look at him like,
is that him? Are you sure that's him? I think that's his dad.
Are you sure?
I hope now that he knows about our podcast, he listens, and then he's like, are they fucking with me? Yeah, we're fucking with you. The Todd.
Yeah, we are. The Todd. Yeah, dude. It's all about Turk. What's up, Donald Faison?
Yeah, he's the default dance in Fortnite, my kids tell me.
He is?
Yeah. The dance he did from Scrubs is like the default dance in Fortnite, or as they call it, an emote.
Dude, and none of these this is why these reality shows aren't even true. Like, you watch Scrubs, ER, like Grey's Anatomy. They never showed like all the cool orthopedic conventions and Shoulder 360 and stuff that people went to.
It's probably for the best that they didn't show the conventions and such and the conferences. Probably for the best. Just keep it as a drama.
It's for recruitment. We get more doctors.
Is that what we want?
Yes, that's what we need.
It is what we need. We need. It's that meeting was a lot of fun because you got to see us, sides of doctors, because we tend to be so serious all the time. Maybe not you and I, but you see a lot of like personalities break out in that meeting, which is so much fun.
Yeah, man. Like you forget, like a lot of these doctors you listen to give talks, and they're leaders in our field. They give like thought provoking talks, and they create implants and design everything. And just to kind of see them, kind of be normal and kind of chill and like outside of the environment, the social settings is really good. And I think it's good for people to see. I brought my son to the meeting last year, and he hung out at the meeting a little bit, and he met a lot of my friends. And he's like, "Hey, these guys are all your friends?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're all shoulder surgeons." And then, now I think he's kind of inspired, and I think he's pretty much going to follow my footsteps, which is kind of cool. But it just took that meeting to kind of spark that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my kids came down on Friday, so I brought them over to check out Saturday, like when people were giving talks, and they're like, "No way, this is so cool!" And that stage, to have those big, TVs or whatever they were on the sides, those LEDs, and then a huge stage, and then a catwalk that changed color. And my daughter thought like it was like Taylor Swift's stage, and she was like, "I want to get up on that." I was like, maybe next year. Maybe next year. Maybe if I get invited back, I'll incorporate my kids into my talk.
You know what I need, dude? I need a little bit more shoulder 360 in my life. I think I need a little recap. I think we need to bring on some special guests today. I want to talk to Rafi, Paul, and Joe, and I want to recap this shoulder 360. Let's bring these guys on. All right. Tonight we got a special couple guests who are near and dear to our hearts. The co-creators, good friends, colleagues of Shoulder 360 in Miami. We have Joseph Aboud, aka the Lebanon Don, and Dr. Rafi GQ Mirzayan.
GQ because he's got a
GQ,
tuxedo
right.
behind
I'll
him.
take that. I'll
It
take
is
that.
GQ.
What's
What's
up,
up,
Joe?
boys?
Thanks for having us on. This is great. Let's keep the party going. It was just less than 2 weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago today, we were having the meeting in Miami, and now we're back together to sort of rehash and discuss.
Speaking
I
of
feel
keeping
like I
the
never
party
left,
going,
and like I just want to go back to Miami and
Is
learn
that
about
an
shoulders.
example of how he talks over people? Because like he cuts you off right there. It's like
yeah, he doesn't listen.
he didn't see you in his lane. He just hits you.
It's okay. It's okay. It's actually, I enjoy it because you just never know what's going to happen with Cuff.
Perfect.
Go ahead, Cuff, please. Ask your question. Go.
Go.
No, you.
I just wanted to know how you're coming down off that high last week, Joe. Like I had a really good time in Miami, and all I thought about this week at work was when next year was going to happen.
Same.
It was such a rewarding, fun time, and I love hospitality, and I know Rafi does, and Paul, and it was just a great experience in hospitality because everyone had a great time, so we had a great time, right? And I went back and I said to myself, wow, that was so worth it. I was sort of exhausted emotionally, but just invigorated and inspired intellectually and spiritually because it was just I genuinely just such an awesome time to be with such good friends and colleagues from faculty to attendees to industry. It was hard getting back into the sort of day-to-day grind of it, but I feel really blessed that I got this guy Rafi, my buddy, and Paul, and we did this thing together, and it's really been something an amazing professional journey together.
So this being year 3, this one's going to be tough to beat. I mean, this one was nuts. I mean, the fact that it fell on the weekend of the F1 race, you guys came out in race suits. I mean, it was just like from the get, it was off the charts. Like Rafi, how do you top yourself next year?
Well, we already have ideas. We have plans. That's the thing. Joe and I are good planners. We think ahead. We take notes. We plan for everything. So we already have some good ideas to top it off. We can't divulge it now. It's our secret. It'll stay with us. You're going to have to come to Miami next year and see it for yourself.
Ooh.
Yeah, we've also talked about maybe we just walk away on top in 2 years, and 2026 is our last meeting, and maybe next year is the second to last meeting. You don't know.
Wait, what?
It could be a kind of like he didn't even know.
Rafi had no idea this was going to be a walk-off home run. He was just like, we're good.
We did it for 5 years. We did a really good job, and we're out. And, you know, and maybe we'll go play baseball like Michael Jordan for a couple of years and come back.
Or you'll do it in the orthopedics. You'll go do a foot and ankle meeting for 2 years and then come back. That way, you could get Comrade. He'll be like, "Oh my God, you did this for me!"
Yeah,
yeah. No, it's great.
I feel like people would be sad, man. You know, we had a lot of recurring guests and colleagues there, and everybody's like starting to kind of become like this cool Shoulder 360 family, and kind of looking forward to hanging out again next year. You're going to have to keep it going. There's going to be a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
we will.
Oh, we're good at pressure. We like Rafi said, we're planners. We spend a lot of time just making sure every scenario worked out and figured out.
Yeah,
So
I think the one thing, if I may, that we did not plan for, we planned everything to the last detail, and we executed it well. There was no hiccups, no hangups, no Wi-Fi issues, no drummer next door like banging on the drums that was drowning into our meeting. The one thing we did not plan on was at the faculty dinner, when we're looking at the floor plan, we're like, yeah, no one's going to dance. Let's just get the dance floor out of that and put more tables there so we have more room. We can get more people in. And about, an hour into it, the DJ was so awesome that everyone was up and dancing. We had to take tables out, clear a way to get people to create a dance floor, essentially. That was the only hiccup we had the entire meeting, essentially.
And it wasn't even a hiccup. Within seconds, you had a dance floor, and then you had Jawa going crazy.
Yeah. Mary Mulcahy, I did not think she had moves like that. That was pretty badass.
Yeah.
I think Paul is the cricket. I call him the cricket now. He just jumping up and down like a cricket.
We'll come back to the. I kind of want to go through the week, and then, but I do want to get back to the faculty dinner, the white party, where Frankel and all those guys are up on the stage, and people are worried that Frankel's going to fall and break, including himself. When I ran into the next morning, he's like, "I'm so glad I didn't fall." But let's go back. So, Rafi, I saw you posted something with your daughter like Monday or Tuesday. I mean, it was early you were there in Miami. Like, walk us through that. Like, what's happening on that Monday? Like, are you freaking out a little bit because you got your family there, and then your boys show up later in the week? But what's going through your head?
Well, Monday I had OR, so we didn't get there till Tuesday. I'm flying in from LA, so it takes us pretty much all day to get in. But Joe and I like to get there Wednesday, and that's when the setup happens, the stage setup, and the AV people come in. So we want to be there in case anything comes up. We can answer them, or we just fine tune stuff. So just getting in, and also just get in the day before and relax with my family, my wife and daughter. We had a nice dinner. So that's just preparation. I think next year I'll get there Monday night, so I'll have even a full day of just relaxation beforehand.
Joe,
I got there Tuesday early, and it just helped me just wrap up loose ends, get my mind clear, take a minute to just sort of, because you're working the whole time, and then you just need a little bit of time to just, okay, I need to just take a minute for myself here a day, and then I'm just going to fully immerse myself in Shoulder 360 and being a good host and making sure everything goes well, and being up, and just getting your engine revved up and getting the fuel in. To me, it was just enjoying the weather, enjoying the beach a little bit. And I unfortunately was by myself this year. My family couldn't join me because my daughter was leading the play, which is tough. But as they say, the show must go on. So it was a amazing. A couple of days before the meeting, just watching the stage crew put things together is so phenomenal. It's just really, it's like watching a concert come together.
It's kind of like a concert. It feels like, I know it's a shoulder convention for us shoulder specialists, but with the after meeting social events and then the actual lectures and the talk, everything's so fun. Like, it's just so blurred that it's just like a fun day. And you're just like constantly fun, even in the lectures, which is amazing, right? Because I didn't even get to go to the beach because I didn't want to miss too much of the meeting, and like really kind of enjoyed all the meeting. And you kind of noticed it too, because the seats are packed throughout the day.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Paul
He's
God.
making an
Sethi
appearance.
is joining us.
Oh my God.
Like
Where
in
is-
true Paul Sethi fashion.
Waldo? Where's Waldo?
Paul Sethi. I mean, I see a black screen. Now we're recording this for YouTube, so now everybody can actually see this when we post this. So
Yeah.
this, I'm assuming, is like a Paul Sethi sighting during one of your, meetings? Like
Very typical, yes.
What typically happens?
phones in his pocket.
Oh, we see teeth.
I'm at 11. Can you guys hear me? I'm at 11 right now.
We're live, you idiot. We're live.
Oh my gosh.
Is this
Paul
real?
Sethi, where are you?
I can't hear or see any.
Are you driving Uber? What are you doing?
I'm not driving the Uber, but I might be.
Put a light on so we can see you.
How do you do that, bro? I have no fucking idea how to do it.
There he is.
Oh,
Welcome, Paul Sethi.
that's Brian Werner. He said
Oh,
that
my.
he would never go to 360 even if he got invited.
Oh my God.
This is so encapsulates Paul Sethi. Like, I love this. Could not have scripted this better.
By the way, Dr. McDreamy. What's up?
Oh my God.
Oh, Parsons.
Not Tom Cruise. My poor nephew fell in love with him.
McDreamy said that he would never go to 360. No, he wants to every day. Every year. I'm included. I'm in.
I want the meeting shoulder 365, so it's every day.
I guess
Trust me, I do too.
guys
It was so much fun.
but the encapsulation is that at least 10 people approached me and said like it's the only thing on social media, and I said obviously.
Hey, Paul, you should undo another button on your shirt. You don't show enough chest hair right now.
Yeah, Brad said that like, don't you know what pinnacle is? I have a pinnacle thing to talk about.
Oh my!
He's a little agitated.
Tell Brad he could talk about Pinnacle when he comes on the podcast in a few weeks.
Him and Denard wanted to do a big spoon, little spoon talk, but they didn't know how.
Oh my God! Let's just all
You
sit
get
back.
post production edits on this, right? For sure. Like, because I don't want to, ruin the product because of some guy in Naples right now.
Oh my God! Well, Paul, I hope you have a wonderful evening in Naples,
This has
and
been a
thanks
really
for
good
joining
talk.
us. Bobby,
so
do we
glad
just
I
cut him
signed.
off? Like, what do we do here?
I'm so glad I signed in. This has been like the best talk ever.
Jeez.
Word to your mother.
See you, Paul.
Oh my God, that's so classic and perfect.
So that's what I imagine your meetings are like.
That's actually better. He was here for more of it. He was here for more of this one. Usually it's like your grandmom. He texts you and he goes, "Where is this link for this Zoom? I don't see it. I don't see this Zoom link." He's calling me now. I don't know why he's calling me. I'm on the podcast.
So actually, what's funny is Cuff does that with us. So each Thursday, he knows it's going to be 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and we actually have to go through the time zones with him every week. And then he will then say, and then he says, "Hey, what's the link?" And it's the same link every week. Bobby has literally got it set up for him. The only thing Bobby doesn't do is fly to LA and hit the button for him. And each week we have to like go through this, but it's fun. I enjoy it.
But me and Paul are friends. Maybe that's why.
I love you, brother. All right, so now
I got to tell you a story. So, Danny Acevedo, aka Cuff Daddy, who portrays this nerves of steel scenario, was a little nervous before the Spanish session, right? And I'm like, "What are you nervous about?" He's like, "Dude, I got to speak Spanish, like medical Spanish." I'm like, "Well, don't mess up because I don't want you to become called instead of Cuff Daddy, Puff Daddy, because you should be puffed away like cream puff Daddy."
He nailed it, I heard.
You
I
said,
heard
Poof,
God.
Daddy. Poof, you're God, Daddy.
No,
He did.
that actually was really an interesting aspect of your meeting. The fact that you knew you were going to have such a huge group of Spanish-speaking surgeons to have a whole section or a whole session in Spanish I think is genius. I mean, it brings the camaraderie of that whole group of surgeons together. And then I couldn't be more proud of my little brother here for running it. And I mean, yeah, he was freaking out. He did say to me, he's like, I hope I don't
Well,
fuck this up.
I go, I gotta practice. He's like, what do you mean? You should speak Spanish. I was like, I know, but I still gotta practice. Like, I mean, I practice when I speak English. Is that wrong?
But actually, watch this. Hold on, Cuff. Do our intro in Spanish for the podcast and go.
Mucho gusto. Buenas noches todos. Aquí estamos con mi amigos Dr. Abu, Dr. Mirzayan y el American Pharaoh. Este es su otro episodio de I'm a pod star, not a doctor, con Puff Daddy y American Pharaoh.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Off the rip. That was off the rip. Like, no practice. You know what it is. So
Yeah.
look, Joe, what's gonna go on next year, man? Like, are we how are we gonna beat this? Like, we got to get more people to come, more people to buy into Shoulder 360. I mean, I feel like people have come up to me who weren't doctors and were super excited about my meeting.
So, I mean, again, we're going to go back to the drawing board and break it down and build it back up. And our job is to make sure people who register, people who sponsor, people who give talks, that everything they provide, the value is returned to them in spades. And so we're going to make it as exciting as possible. We had Rep Olympics this year, and that was a last-minute idea that we had. And I think overall it went over pretty well with the industry folks. They really enjoyed the fact that they were competing against their, partners across the stage as far as putting in an augmented glenoid component. And then they had a fun time.
Joe, can you repeat what that was? Because I don't think we came across. What did we do?
Yeah, we did the first annual Shoulder 360 Rep Olympics. And that was designed to, we always hear whenever we're running a meeting, we need more traffic through the industry set area. We need more interaction. And so, the idea came to me through one of my research fellows. He's like, why don't you create like a sort of Rep Olympics type thing? And so I was like, yeah, it's a good idea. So within a matter of 3 days, I was able to talk to our top 5 sponsors and say, hey, listen, how do you feel about, since you all have augmented glenoids, you all, in a timed session, sit down and pick your 2 best people and being judged by 3 surgeons that are industry agnostic, and put in an augmented glenoid that your system has, and we will judge you based on time and how you execute the operation as far as technical skill. And we had 1 winner and, like I said, 4 losers. So that's just the way we run it. 1 wins and 4 lose. So it was fun. I think industry liked it. There was more people around that area for that period of time than any other time during the entire meeting, I think. So it really drives traffic. Competition is fun. You got to go outside the box. You got to make people comfortable being uncomfortable. That's what I like to say.
No, you couldn't have. And I think that sums up your meeting. I mean, when you're on stage, we've all given hundreds of talks at this point, if not more. But when you go up on that stage holding a microphone, and by the way, the catwalk this year, well done. That was a nice touch.
A lighted catwalk.
Yes, that can change from red to blue to who knows. But it was, it is very daunting to go up there knowing that you have these amazing colleagues behind you that are you're essentially competing against with your talk and your topic. You got judges over here that are telling you suck or you're great. You guys telling them not to give them a 10, which is awesome. And then a group of people that are going to be seated there, because whether it was kind of like a casino, it could have been 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. You'd have no idea because the place is packed and you have no idea what time it is. So it was, the competition of just the talks was amazing.
Yeah, all the pressure you guys, I think a lot of the speakers kind of feel the pressure to be able to deliver an entertaining talk that's educational and be able to capture the audience's attention. Some of the talks this year were phenomenal.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's, listen, I think that we're very competitive people and we want to create a competitive environment. Again, in this day and age, if you're going to take time off work, if you're going to spend money, if you're going to sponsor a meeting, you want to make sure that the people showing up get their money's worth. And so, to be very blunt about it, we run through the list of faculty who performed well, who didn't, and we have to make cuts, just like a basketball team, right? And then, for some of the younger colleagues out there that, I have a lot of people I respect a lot, but we can't invite everybody. We love everybody. We can't invite everybody. My motto is, if you're a younger person, you got to show up to the meeting, show me that you buy into the environment, and then you'll be consideration for faculty next year. It's not just, everyone gets invited because you're friends and family. You just can't run a meeting like that. You got to run it like a business.
Where can I see the leaderboard? I want to see where I'm at.
It's internal.
Where's that competition?
It's internal.
I don't want to get cut. I just got in.
We use analytics. We're like scouts. We use analytics.
Yeah.
So it's it's pretty advanced stuff. You'd be surprised at our leaderboard. You're in the top quartile. Let's put it that way.
Oof. That's cool.
Daniel, I call him Mr. 99. He's gotten 99 percentile on every
this
single
is
board
different.
exam.
This is different, man.
MCAT,
This is
everything. So
This is
he wants
different. I'm
to be
telling
in the
you.
top.
I'm telling you, it's different. For those who haven't been to this meeting, like some of these guys that you may see have given talks at different meetings, they give like phenomenal talks. And you're just like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
I mean,
But like Joe said, we're trying to make these guys who've given the same talk potentially dozens of times. They're under the gun, they're under the pressure because they're not hiding behind the podium anymore. They're out in the open with people behind them. We're going to judge them. So everyone brings their A game. And the one idea that Joe had was the gong on the first year. If you went overtime, we gonged. One of the hardest things when you run a meeting is time management. And that was just a brilliant, genius tactic. And very, very few people have gotten gonged since the first year. So it's just fun. It's entertaining.
one may be on this call.
Yeah.
I got gonged the second year, and someone got gonged this year 3 times and didn't stop. I'm just gonna say. I'm not gonna say
Was that Simovich?
no.
Yeah, I think
might
it
have-
was.
It was
Oh.
Simovich,
Well, somebody else then got gonged 3 times.
but he just kept on going. That was genius.
Yeah, I don't care.
He's like,
But
fuck you, I
the
made this
first-
talk. You're going to hear it.
I will
The
say
first-
this: Uma is a diamond in the rough.
Oh my God, that guy.
That guy's talks. I mean,
He's an assassin.
his delivery. It's a great talk no matter what. I mean, but his delivery, I mean, the stuff he says, you won't expect him to say. And it's like he starts speaking Gen X or Z or whatever we are these days. And it's
the
just
vibes and the feels. and
Yeah, he goes,
stuff.
that's what, oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Who has been somebody, I mean, I don't want you to say who is not getting back, but who is somebody that like surprised you? Like you look and you're like, I did not expect that out of him.
Christian Gerber. We were worried he'd be kind of more old school, more formal, more conservative, and he just hit it out of the park. Not only were his talk, he's the only person who's gotten a standing ovation in 3 years I've been doing this. I mean, his talk was phenomenal. But even as a judge, he gave some really insightful comments. He wasn't just commenting on their socks and stuff, but he was just, I mean, he knocked it out of the park. He was phenomenal.
Yeah, he really was.
As a judge, he was very impressive because he gave no Fs. I mean, he was just like, to look at Boileau and just look at him and tell him that his thoughts were antiquated. I was like, these are like 2 of the greatest surgeons, shoulder surgeons on earth. And he's telling him, like, you would have thought like I was talking to a first-year resident, but in a collegial way. But it was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, there were some really interesting and somewhat uncomfortable moments where, particularly I remember when Paul was doing the newlywed game, and he asked Pascal or Gilles, and and he was like, Gilles, no question. And I was like, oh my God, Pascal's like right over there. It was like, and they asked, Bassem or Aboud, and Thibaut's like, Bassem. And I was like, that's tough. But you gotta appreciate honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's done in a way where it's like you don't have time to think because you're really on your toes. So it's like you can't come up with a canned answer because it's just presented to you. I mean, you've given talks and you know what questions you're going to get. But when you're being judged and against others, even, and maybe against a different product or a different technique, you might not necessarily know what's coming. And then you get hit with it and you're like, oh, shit. And you have to think on your toes. And that's where I think it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
So what do you think about, so one of the things Danny and I were talking about is we want to do like a sports center every morning and every night at Shoulder 360 with the podcast. We got to come up with a way to do it. I don't know how. I know there's another podcast there, but maybe we'll get space in the exhibit hall and do it. But I think that would be fun.
I think you could work with the AV team on getting highlights of the day and like analyze some of the highlights. Like, okay, these are sports center for 5 minutes. These are our, key takeaways for today, and just have little clips, snippets, because that stuff is all recorded. It would just create some work after time to sort of post production edit it. But that would be fun.
I think
maybe Bobby will have to fly out and do some editing in between the days or something.
Bobby, you heard them.
I have so much fun at the meetings. My kids, they see me having so much fun. I just want to keep working so I can keep going to these meetings, because it's just I'm like, all right, I got to keep doing surgery so that I can have stuff to go to meetings, because meetings are fun.
Yeah.
When my kids came in, my youngest is like, Dad, I want to go walk on that catwalk. I'm like, there's a meeting going on right now. She goes, Dad, I want to go right now. I walk on that catwalk. I almost let her do it.
Please, you should have told us. We would have made it happen.
I wanted her to do it while somebody was speaking. I thought that would be hilarious. Just walk up on stage.
So this summer I went and saw Taylor Swift, and she had a huge catwalk.
You had the best seats ever.
And she had these blinking bracelets. And so I was like mesmerized. Like, I was like, we need to have a catwalk and something that changes color. And so we worked on, we're going to do bracelets or like lanyards that are colored. Then we decided to do the catwalk in color. But, there's a lot of ideas out there, and they should be incorporated in medical education, because obviously they're successful. They draw millions of people around the world. So, imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Whose dog is that? Is that your dog, Cuff?
No, that's mine.
Oh, okay.
Should I mute it?
Well, Cuff usually has two mastiffs going, or a mastiff going at it, like during most of this podcast.
He's protective.
He is protective. He's taller than you.
Wow, that hurts.
He doesn't even know what to say. I'm still taken aback by Paul. I mean, that was amazing. He sent me a text before he hopped on. I'll read it to you. Maybe you'll understand. Lexi in your belly. So I was just like, uh-oh, are you all right? Here's the link. Your boys say you're not coming on. And that's when he jumped on.
Yeah, we need a Sethi translator. Like every time you get a text, you have to put it through a Sethi translator app to understand what he
doesn't type, he just dictates his text, and you have to sort of unravel it. You're like, what is it?
But he didn't mess anything up. What was something that happened at the meeting that wasn't supposed to happen, or you were just upset about? Or was it just like super? It seemed like it was super smooth this year.
Yeah, there was no hiccups to my knowledge. Maybe
there was one small hiccup with Grant Garricus's upload, and I know that he was upset because he spent a lot of time making the talk, and the one that was uploaded was not the version he had worked on. So when he was giving his talk, he was kind of like, and I could tell he was upset. He's a great professional. He's awesome at what he does. That was only the smallest of little hiccups, to be honest. So I could say to you that, me, Rafi, and Paul are extremely critical, particularly me and Rafi. Paul is not present physically or mentally sometimes. So we really, I don't recall anything where we're kind of like, oh my God, we got to stop this. Like, get this, stop it. Like, we definitely had those moments the first year, less so the second year. And this year, I would say that the team really performed exceptionally well.
And from our standpoint in the audience, it was smooth. It was very smooth. And you three are cut from the same cloth in the fact that like you guys can be messing around, doing this, doing that, being in 3 different conversations. The time somebody smacks their fingers and says it's time to get on stage, there's a different energy, there's a different level, there's a professionalism, there's like, holy shit, they're on, and a second ago they were dicking around. I mean, it is amazing how fast you can flip that switch, which is a great thing because I think it makes you super approachable. And I think that's one thing that I was really impressed by is how many young surgeons were there and would come up to us and say, hey, you're so and so, and I mean, then obviously come up to you guys, and you guys are very approachable to them, and that I think is a huge difference than I think previous generations of surgeons that we would go to those meetings to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to get like a Santa chair, Joe, and then everyone could just go take turns sitting on your lap and like saying what's up to Joe Abood.
Please, God, do that. Please.
Sit on your.
I don't want to be canceled.
Well, you definitely can't do it at the white party. Have them sit on your lap. That's a no bueno. You can't do that.
Weird. We'll delete that from the podcast for sure.
Now I have this really expensive white suit now in my closet, so I'm gonna try to find somewhere else to wear it.
You will. I just want to add that the 3 of us work great together, but we could not do it without our team. So Anita Amin is just absolutely phenomenal. She's one of the best people I've ever worked with in any kind of meeting planning. Matt and Wim help us with industry, and Ricardo Ortiz does our AV, and a great team of people that work with him. So definitely a shout out to those guys. We could not do it without them.
No, it was perfect. I mean, it was perfect. Danny, you were going to say something. Go ahead, Danny. Okay. All right, let's go back to the white party. All right. Where does that, I mean, because when I walked in there and there's like the outdoor like rooftop, I remember I said to somebody, I go, this must be what orthopedic heaven is going to look like. It was crazy. It was like the who's who, all in white, and then Luke Austin in a green shirt that kind of stood out.
A soccer shirt.
No. That was a F1 shirt for for Aston Martin. But it was, I mean, he stood up, but God bless him. But it was crazy. It was like the who's who, and then it was such a great venue. And then, like you said, it just kind of morphed into this like dance party. So to see some of these people that you always see a little buttoned up, kind of loosen up, I was like, holy smokes, what a night!
Well, it all started with the restaurant we had the 2 previous faculty dinners wanted an extra $100,000 for the same place, same food, same everything, just because it was F1 weekend, just to get you an idea of how crazy Miami gets. Okay, so that's at the backstage, but then it was Joe's great find of this place, and he went and checked it out and saw it. And Joe, please tell him what happened.
Yeah, so it was in the summer, and my family and I left to go to Miami, so we're down there in the summer, and we're looking for places, and came across Temple House, and I scheduled an appointment with them, and I scheduled an appointment to also see a cruise ship that was going to take us out for a night cruise for dinner. And I went to Temple House. I went with my wife, and she is much more sort of level-headed, even-keeled, and she was like, "This is fantastic." They played some of their audio visuals and how it would be like, and she was like, "This is amazing." So I knew immediately, it passed Sue's test. It's going to be unbelievable. So then I went and did the cruise thing, and I was like, it's kind of a little bit cheesy. Probably take a Dramamine and get off the boat and be like, yeah, that was great. Thank you very much. So, I mean, but the price point was pretty high, and, the guys, thank you to them and the whole team for sort of trusting my judgment, because I was a little bit nervous. I was like, this is kind of pricey, and it's, a little bit out there, and hopefully it works out. And I think it ended up being a good decision overall, but I was, definitely a team approach.
I will say I've been to some very cool faculty dinners, including one was a Nile cruise in Cairo, and there's one to the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and a really great one in Rome. But that one was amazing. I mean, Plancher at his meeting usually gets some, really interesting guests and comedians and artists, But that one was us. We were the artists. We were the ones that were like, which was crazy because it was. I mean, there's people I was partying with that I was like, I never thought I'd be partying with you ever, and it was a good time.
Yeah, the more senior guys probably had the most fun because they were the most buttoned up and they just let it loose. It was great. But Joe and I, it goes back to our roots. We love to have fun. We love to entertain. We love hospitality. We love seeing other people have fun. That gives us pleasure. So for us to throw a party like that, to thank our faculty for sacrificing their time away from family and work and stuff, it was like just made us feel so good when everyone was having a good time. It was unbelievable.
So can we add one thing that was the like cherry on top? Kamran's rap.
Oh my God!
Wow.
I mean, I didn't know that you could rhyme Arab ponytails.
Yeah, that was insane. You know, like when he sent that to us like a couple days before the meeting, I was like, this is unbelievable stuff. Like, wait, you know, we kept it under wraps, obviously, and wait till people see this thing. And like, I mean, you know, when I like look at my social media, that post is the most hits I've ever seen on my social media. That post of his rap, It's crazy. The talent that guy has. That guy's so talented.
Just insane.
And he's just the most humble and nice and just calm person. As soon as the music plays, he just becomes a different person. It's incredible.
So chill. I'm like, what up, Palmer? What's going on, baby? He'd be like, hey, Daniel.
Yeah, he is very sweet, but remarkably talented. And I think, seriously, when they played that at Temple House and on that big giant screen, it was like
people lost their minds.
Oh, and it was like I would honestly buy that on iTunes if that existed as a real song. I would 100% buy that.
So funny thing, Mark Olarsh is a good friend of mine from Innovis, and he texted me today. He's like, I have all the bits except the one where he did the country music one. Can you get me that? Like people, you know, that are like senior people who are like, they were so mesmerized by his talent and things he did and the skits that he did. They're like, I need to see all those skits. They're hilarious.
Have you seen his new one that he just dropped like 2 days ago? Where he's like,
floral one?
Yes, that's the best.
Oh my God.
That's Danny Acevedo. When I saw that, I was like, that's Danny Acevedo. Like, how do you take a picture? You got to double tap it. You do something. I can't remember what you said, Danny. What'd you say? Double tap it.
He goes, don't go live until I tell you to go live.
Yeah, Kamran's the best. I'm curious to see like if anyone's gonna come up and like there's always like Dre and Snoop, Jay-Z, like who's gonna be the next Kamran? There's gonna be another one. Like Kamran's not gonna be the only one. We're gonna have some other like rapper.
I think it's you, Cuff. All day, but in Spanish. You're gonna be the Spanish Kamran.
Papi Manguito.
Oh my God, boys! First of all, like one of the best weeks of my life, and not to mention I learned something. So more power to you guys, and keep up the amazing work. I mean, people were writing me stuff and DMing me like, "Hey, that was an orthopedic meeting because that looked fun. I want to go to that." And they're not even doctors.
I love it.
So keep it up. Keep it up. But hold on, I think Bobby wants to come in and talk to you guys for a second. See, Rafi knows what's up. There he is.
What's up, Bobby?
Up, guys? I'm bummed I had to miss the meeting this year, but I already booked my plane ticket. I'll be out there next year. So nice. I'm just gonna sneak into everything. I'm gonna be booing these guys on stage. It's gonna be great.
So you're be a heckler.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the worst too. It's gonna be great. So Joe knows this from his time on the podcast. Rafi hasn't experienced this yet, but we like to play some games every time we have guests out here. So this is the first episode of season 3. I don't know if you guys knew that. So every season we kind of on the back end take a couple weeks, reset, see what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, constantly trying to improve the show, just like you guys are doing with the meeting. And one thing that was a unanimous vote immediately once we finished last season was we cannot leave Danny Acevedo in charge of these games anymore because they are just so bad.
He's like, hey, I got a game. Spell cuff. What?
Well, Cuff's his most creative game was, what am I sitting on? I mean, that was just that tells you everything you need to know.
Wildly entertaining, however. Wildly.
Right.
Oh,
It was.
huge. The best.
So we're gonna play with some things this season. We're gonna have some fun, try and make it unique. So I have just some tongue twisters for you guys that we're gonna mess around with today. I'm gonna take it easy, at least for a little bit on this one. So Joe, I'm gonna start with you, if you're up for it here.
Sure.
So all right, open up the chat down in your bottom right, and I'm gonna paste it right in here. Just try and do it quickly. Don't don't take your time. Like, let's make it interesting. So let's make it a little bit of a race here. So
Okay.
I'm gonna paste. All right, paste the first one in here.
Ligma.
Cuff, you can't say that.
See, Cuff does one thing and he messes up the game already. It's great. Here you go, Joe.
1-1 was a racehorse. 2-2 was 1-2. When 1-1-1-1 race, 2-2-1-1-2. Nuts.
Oh,
I should have done.
this guy's good. That was smooth, Joe. I'm impressed.
Very nice, Joe. Very nice.
All right, Raffy, let's go with you next.
I know I'm going to screw this up.
Oh,
Here you go.
shit.
Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, I will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So 'twas better. Betty Better bought a bit of better butter.
Raffy, amazing. Great work.
Holy mackerel.
Fantastic. I'm so impressed. Sharif, you think you can go a little faster on the next one?
Let me get after it.
Let's have some fun.
All right. I'm not the fig plucker, nor the fig plucker's son, but I'll pluck figs till the fig plucker comes.
Oh, shit. You actually did that one pretty well.
I drank a little today.
Nice. All right. Now let's see how badly Danny fucks this one up. It's going to be great.
Oh, Jesus.
Go fast.
Miss Puggy Wednesday has a square cup punt, not a punt cut square, just a square cup punt. It's round in the stern and blunts in the front. Miss Puggy Wuggy has a square cut punt. What?
God, you guys really screwed that up. That was going to be so much funnier if you actually slipped up. You guys did it way too well.
Pick a really hard one and do it yourself.
No, that's not the point of the game.
Right.
It's to try and get you guys to say dirty shit, and you just messing the whole thing up. So it's
You have really smart surgeons in me.
yeah. I was gonna say no. That's honestly all that I got for you guys. It was
All
nothing
right, well,
crazy
that's
today, but-
Hold on. No. We have the eternal question, Bobby.
No, we're actually mixing up the question. If you really want to.
No. Let's keep it up because we want everybody's opinion because you lost at the end of season 2. You still have to pay your debt to Cuff. You paid a man to say that it was your answer. So, would you rather?
That
Go
one's
for
dead.
it. Bobby, go for
That
it.
one's dead.
No. I am going to mix it up for this reason.
All right. Fine.
For perspective's sake, we've been asking the same question and getting a lot of great feedback and answers on it. But I think by mixing up a part of it, it'll create some new dialogue and it'll give us some perspective. So, would you rather fight 100 ostriches or 1 T-Rex?
Ostriches will fuck you up.
I was just gonna say that. One T-Rex.
One T-Rex.
You don't have a chance. I mean, forget it.
Dude,
I
T-Rex.
think-
Have you been at Jurassic Park? Those dudes, you can hide under shit. I'm telling you. It's
You're gonna
good
hide
when you're
underneath
small.
them, and then what's he
You
gonna do?
can
He's
hide
gonna
under.
grab you.
Yeah.
He can't grab you.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
kind
Or
of sit
potential-
underneath
yeah.
them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I go with the T-Rex.
Yeah, I do the
Yeah.
T-Rex and hide in the taint, just like kind of wherever he goes, like just go
Yeah.
with him.
And they can't see, so you could just like not move, right? Don't forget that.
Unless he steps on you, then that's bad.
Yeah, I feel like you don't do enough research, Bobby. I don't know.
I really don't. Not today, at least. I was late on the game tonight. Not gonna lie.
All right,
I
guys.
still-
Well, thanks for coming on, Joe and
Thanks for
Rafi.
having
Is
us.
there anything you want to tell our audience about next year or what's cracking?
April 3 to 5, 2025, same place, Lowe's, Miami. Love you guys. Thanks for having us. You're the best.
Yep.
Later, guys.
Joe goes,
Appreciate
yep. All right, love you boys. Thanks
Thank
again
you.
for coming on. Season
Thanks
3,
for having
episode
us.
1. It's Shoulder 360, boys.
Thank you.
Peace.
See you guys.
Bye.
So I don't know, man. I don't know if Bobby can handle this. I feel like
We give him too much responsibility.
I know, like it was just too much. Like he's overwhelmed, obviously overwhelmed. We need to cut back a little. We need to have a meeting about this offline.
You know when you have that one kid that you like beat up a little bit and he carries your books to class, and then that's Bobby, and then we put like a cup of coffee on all your books, and he's
was
like
me.
freaking out.
That was me.
No, that's exactly what this
That's
is.
what he feels. That's what he tells
You
me.
guys
when he calls
literally
me.
gave me all the books for 2 seasons. I'm carrying them around for you. And at the last minute, Cuff's like, yeah, here, hold my drink. And hold my backpack. And take my computer too.
Somebody put me in a trunk of a car, so you know I'm still trying to live that up.
He made it back from Miami safely, so that's we have to be thankful. We have to be very, very thankful.
It's like getting shoved in a locker.
Oh my gosh, that was fun reminiscing, even though it was like a week ago. But that was such a fun few days. I mean, like the fact that I got to go to that, see all my colleagues, see all my friends, amazing meeting, and then that Saturday night I went and saw Messi play, which was crazy, and then the next day I saw F1. I mean, what a weekend for me, at least. It's like I hope everybody had the same experience I did.
I keep telling dudes being a doctor is fun. You know, that's just all part of it.
Until you come back and do peer-to-peers like I did today, so it was fun.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps up our show. Season 1. Oh, all right, guys. Well, that wraps up our show. Episode 1, Season 3 of I'm a Pod Star, Not a Doctor. It's your man, Cuff Daddy, signing out.
Find us where you find your socials at I'm a Pod Star, Not a Doctor. And now, Season 3, we're on YouTube. So find us at I'm a Pod Star, Not a Doctor on YouTube. See you next week. Bye.
Trying to get a lot of dough. Anything is possible. Turn me up in the headphone. Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of gold. Stack that bread and vomit nose. Anything is possible. Yeah.